Hello, and welcome back to True Crime Guys Podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michael.
Well, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. We decided to continue the podcast to put out an episode this week because we know as people who have worked solo on the roads during that week between Christmas and New Year's, how much of a black hole that can be for entertainment.
It's a drought.
Purposes.
Yeah.
It's most people have already put out their Christmas entertainment or whatever. Most people take that week off. This week that you're listening on right now, that week between New Year's and Christmas, radio hosts, they all take their week off, and you get the backup host on Sports Talk or whatever. Podcasters, a lot of them take the week off. A lot of the bigger ones, at least.
Or they're ending seasons right now.
Yeah,
a lot of podcasters ending seasons. Yeah.
And we felt the draw to just put out something else and that we'd already done, but you know what, for the hot week is out there, we're going to put out some entertainment for you. So we decided to do Gamers Gone Wild Part 2 for you guys because there's plenty more cases to cover. Believe me, there's no drought when it comes to video game related murders.
And seriously, it's kind of alarming. And also what's so unexpected about these cases is just because they're short and they're like these one-offs, it doesn't make them any less tragic or I don't know how to describe it. It's like when I was studying these cases, it's almost more alarming, especially when children are involved, right? It's like to the extent that they will go to justify themselves in a video game, and even adults. Yeah. And then one of the cases we're talking about, the second case we're talking about today, is just completely off the radar. I don't know how many more cases there will ever be like this. I can't wait to get into that one. Just to talk about the psychology behind that one is going to be insane.
Yeah, we have basically they're all surrounding or related to gaming. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the gamer himself losing their shit, which there's two of those out of the three. But there's one where the parent of the video gamer just got tired of the video gamer's language and things like that. Yeah. Honestly, the third case though, the last one we're doing today, it could be an episode all in itself. And
absolutely,
it's just wild, this last case. But yeah, let's get into it. Happy holidays, everybody. Let's give you guys some end of year entertainment. This will be the last episode for this year. We want to thank everybody for the continued support throughout 2021, and we'll talk more about that at the end. Do some shout outs and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into this final 2021 episode. Gamers Gone Wild Part 2.
Here we go.
Hey mom, look at me. Don't point the gun at me. Maybe things got a little out of hand. She might have beat me this time. Wait till I go inside. I'm a boy turned to a scorned man. And I thought we could play.
All right, for this special episode, this compilation episode, Video Game Murders Part 2, we have 3 cases. They're all video game related, obviously, but different in their own way. So let's start out with the first one that I call Deadly Diablo.
Properly named.
And this is actually very, very recent, still ongoing, just happened this holiday season, believe it or not, 2021.
Oh
this month
God.
this went down.
This is recent.
That's what I'm saying. It's not hard to find these video game related murders. Video games, as we talked about in part 1, have become increasingly a bigger part of our lives, whether you like it or not, whether you're into it or not. You can't avoid the fact that most young people and many older people nowadays, between VR and all the different forms of gaming, our lives are merging into the video game world, if you even want to call it that, or into the virtual world, you really could say, with Meta and everything that's going on with Oculus Rift and all of that stuff. I recently actually got to try out an Oculus at a friend's house, and it's game changing, dude. They've come a long way with that stuff.
Imagine.
Like you have the controller in each hand, and then you have obviously the device on your head, and it's so immersive, man. Like luckily you set your range, you create a circumference in the living room or wherever you're playing so that you don't run into walls and stuff, but you easily could get so sucked in that you walk or run into a wall.
I don't doubt it. I've seen crazy videos of people on there, man, freaking out, smacking lamps off of dressers.
I played a boxing game, and it was a crazy workout.
That's
the
why
boxing
I
game
want
I played, and I was exhausted.
That's why I want it, man. I wanna get that, for cardio and shit and training. And then there's there's different. I've seen different YouTube videos of people who where you can do cardio and train like you're on a mountain. Like the whole time, it just looks like you're on like a mountain peak overlooking this beautiful scenery or whatever. Like that's.
I full on had a 3-round boxing match that I was sore the next day. No joke.
Damn.
Like you throw so many damn punches that like my lats were sore the next day because I haven't thrown that many punches in a long time.
Damn. Yeah, I'm excited about.
And then I played a shooting game that was super fun. Like you use those controllers in your hands to and you reach out and pick up virtual guns and point them. I was shooting these bots, and then the gun flies out of their hand, and you catch it in the air and shoot it again.
Oh shit! And then, it's pretty. Yeah. The tracking is really good. Like you really feel like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the graphics have a long way to go from what I could tell. I mean, maybe I just played I think I played more of a demo game. I don't even know if it was really a high end game that I played. But yeah, as far as the tracking and everything, it's super.
The graphics will get there. They'll get there pretty soon. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon the graphics are going to be so good in virtual reality, it's scary. And then that's where the real addiction to video games is going to come in.
But yeah, this merge into VR and virtual reality and video gaming in general, I think what we see with some of these cases, and it's getting increasingly worse, where it's people care more about their virtual life than they do their real life. So when someone interferes with their virtual life, it's essentially you're messing with their real life.
Well, they spend more time there.
They respond accordingly.
And they spend more time in that virtual life. So it's can you blame them? If this is more of what your core personality and what your hobbies and your memories
the way you identify as your identity is tied in with this.
And whether it is or not, if that's what you feel is the best version of yourself, this online version or whatever, you're gonna take offense to someone who tries to tear it down.
And then someone tries to take that away or comes in and screws with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we see a little bit of that on this first case, which just went down on Wednesday, December 15th. So we're talking just a couple weeks ago, 2021, in Vancouver, Washington. A friendship that lasted more than 26 years came to an end over an argument that stemmed from the RPG video game Diablo 2, which actually just had an update come out. Diablo 2 had a newer, they basically revamped it, updated the graphics and things like that. It's called Diablo 2 Resurrected. It came out in September, so it just recently came out. It supports 4K graphics, a higher frame rate, and a quality of life changes in the game. The plot of this game, Diablo, centers around a player character undertaking a series of quests to free Tristram, I'm not sure if I pronounced that properly, from a hell-spawned evil. So you're going into hell and fighting demons and things like that.
I've never played it, but I watched some gameplay. It does look pretty fun. It's kind of God of War-ish, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
You're kind of zoomed way out, and you're fighting all these different enemies in a room.
Yeah, a little bit like Final Fantasy type, where you're zoomed way out. Yeah, almost like a virtual board game or something like that. And in this game, you're descending through 12 levels of dungeons into hell itself in the final 4 levels, where the player battles the title character Diablo, Lord of Terror, in one of the 7 evils demon lords.
Man.
I'm getting to the point now where I actually, rather than play games myself, I still enjoy the concept of them, and I actually like to watch people play them.
Oh no!
read about them
Fallen
and things
into
like that. But I don't have the time to partake
I know
myself.
what you mean. That's most of my video game
so
experience. If it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't know shit about recent video games. Like they teach me everything.
I like to peek my head in and be like, okay, what are you guys playing? Oh, this looks
me
dope.
too.
Someday, maybe when I retire.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be even better by then, and I can really delve into them.
Exactly. They'll be there. The video games are going to be insane when you retire, dude. I mean, they already are.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but can't imagine the next 5-10 years. They're going to be blowing us away.
Yes. So the plot I just explained was Diablo 1. Diablo 2 takes place soon after the end of the original Diablo. The hero who slew Diablo drives the soul stone of Diablo into his own head in an attempt to contain Diablo in his own body.
That's a bad idea, I think.
That's
a bad idea.
Yeah. Pretty intense gaming, apparently. And 36-year-old Joshua Spellman and 34-year-old Andrew Dixon had been best friends for what did I say?
26 years.
26 years they'd been best friends and would obviously play this game regularly. And on October 5th or December 15th of this year, they were playing with a third friend named Rob online when a random player entered the game and stole a valuable piece of loot that the trio had been trying to and it hadn't been able to collect.
See,
and this enraged one of the gamers.
Real quick, this is another thing that has really upped the tension in video games, is that so many pieces of these video games have real life monetary value. And when you start doing that, you start making shit serious. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people on World of Warcraft who will level up a character to a certain level, then sell it for hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Digital property is becoming all the rage between NFTs and people are buying land online and digital
Just
worlds.
wait till
they're selling skins, they're selling guns, they're selling these things that people create digitally. That's you're a young person, you're trying to you have like computer experience, whatever, coding, whatever, and you want to be on the cutting edge, man. It seems like you want to get into creating digital art, whether it's weapons or worlds for people to play in Oculus with, things like that. You want to create digital art, not real world art, but digital art right now.
Right. Just wait till NFTs collide with video games, man. It's not going to be.
I think they already.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, like officially, where it's just a normal currency, and you'll be, purchasing these NFTs, and now that NFT is your skin or your gamer logo or your tag or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. So this player that was not a part of the three friends playing the game entered and should not have been able to. The game should have been password protected apparently, but was not. Andrew Dixon became enraged about the fact that the game wasn't protected by password, and started yelling and name calling his buddy Spellman. He went into a tirade that lasted 3 to 5 minutes, and both Spellman and Dixon lived on Spellman's property and were playing the game from separate dwellings on the property.
Okay.
So, the stereotypical 30-something-year-old video gamer that still lives at his parents' house.
It's like a 30-something-year-old LAN party they're having right here. They're actually
on the internet, but very similar to the way we used to play. And the three players were communicating via headset, and Spellman became upset with Dixon's tirade and told him he needed to calm down or he was going to get shot. And that's when it went up to the next level. Spellman took out his gun and left the bunkhouse to go to the main house. While walking between the houses, he fired a round into the air, according to court records. Joshua Spellman then entered the main house with the gun in his hand. He was talking to his dad when Dixon came inside. Dixon verbally confronted Spellman about Spellman's threat to shoot him. Spellman said Dixon then closed the distance between them, and Spellman shot him once in the torso.
Shit.
Andrew was then taken to Peace Health Southwest Medical Center in Vancouver, where he underwent surgery and later died from his injuries. When investigators asked Spellman if he had to retrieve his gun before the shooting, he said it was by his computer. When they asked him why the pistol was next to his computer, he replied, "Why not? This is America."
Fair enough.
Sorry to laugh at that, but
I mean, if he lives alone,
it's literally like Cartman, like a Cartman type character.
Almost.
Oh, I know. Like living at his mom's house in a guest house, playing video games all day, every day.
Right.
And has a gun next to him at his computer that he shoots his friend with.
It absolutely is. Absolutely. A small world, man. They lived in a small world. I mean, also, when people you play video games with every day and you spend these hours with, they become almost like siblings. You know what I mean? It's like you start to hate them 100%. At times. You sign on and you're like, oh, is this motherfucker's voice again? Like, let me mute my mic. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's living on your parents' property
exactly.
with you.
You could see how this would boil over. There's no escape from this person. It's not like you can just sign off and play something else or whatever.
He's in for a rude awakening going to prison. I mean, no more video games, and you're stuck in prison.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other inmates, and I get the feeling he's not the toughest dude. So he's gonna have to adjust quickly.
Yeah, he is. It's a wake up call.
So on Friday, December 17th, Spellman appeared in court on suspicion of second-degree murder. The prosecution said Spellman has no prior criminal history. Still, senior deputy prosecutor Luka Vicevic requested Spellman be held on $2 million bail, arguing that a seemingly minor incident resulted in someone being killed and shot. And the judge set Spellman's bail at $750,000, and he's scheduled to be arraigned on December 29th. So this will surely go on into next year before he's sentenced, but I'm sure he's looking at some serious prison time.
As he should be. He should be doing life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be doing life. I mean, it's a crime of passion, I guess. You could say that. Second-degree murder. He just randomly, got angry. But still, at 34 years old, bro, no, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, you damn well know better.
That's right.
Yeah, and now he's going to get a taste of the real Diablo.
Oh, yeah, he's going to the depths of Diablo now.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
All right, let's go to case number 2 of this compilation episode.
This is the one that,
Gamers Gone Wild.
The last one is one of the most saddest cases and strangest cases I've probably ever heard as far as video games. But this one has got to be one of the few that goes down this way. Don't you think? Where it's the opposite, where the gamer got killed.
Yes and no. I actually did find a couple of these. Maybe for part 3, we'll go into another one like this. But yeah, it's not always the gamer freaking out. Sometimes it's the family's reaction to the gamer's behavior while gaming that
Isn't it so hard to be tolerant of someone who's like an excitable gamer? Because you're like, my son, for instance, his room is all the way in the back of our house, but we can hear him all the way in the front if he's playing online. He's just constantly yelling and giving directions, and like, I'm over here. Oh, come on, meet me over here at this. It's just like it's nothing mean or rude. It's just so fucking loud.
I was gonna say that's more tolerable than a lot of people's behavior when gaming.
Yes.
It's much more tolerable than my behavior when I used to be gaming. Like when I was a teenager, it was a lot of F-bombs and controllers being thrown. And
well, I'm sure he feels like doing that, but he's 12, so he's got to kind of restrain that. But a lot of gaming.
Yeah, I was 12 when I'm.
Gaming is not as aggravating as it was when we were kids. See, now there's every single game when you get tired of it or frustrated, they have a creative mode. So it's like, you know what? I want to take a break from all this challenging mind encouraging things that make me a better video gamer. I just want to go do some bullshit with my friends. And now every video game almost has that option. You know how like in Grand Theft Auto where you're like
a buffer period, a buffer
like in Grand Theft
Auto
where you're like, I'm tired of doing missions. I'm just going to drive around and just fuck some shit up. That was a cooldown period, so you didn't throw your controller or lose your shit. But most games didn't have that as a kid. Like when I was growing up playing God of War and shit, there's no there's no relief when you can't get past a thing. You either just quit and you're just fucking frustrated that you quit and couldn't do it, or you keep going and get more frustrated. So I don't know.
Even Mario, dude.
Oh, Mario,
Super Mario World back in the day.
Mario's
oh my god, like there's certain levels that just would eat your shit every time.
Dude, I wanted to break that fucking Nintendo controller right in half, and they were so flimsy too. I was like, I could break this.
Oh, God. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like you're holding a damn graham cracker. Like, I could snap this thing in half.
You're nothing but a piece of plastic to me.
All right,
sorry.
So let's get into case number 2. Not only can teenagers overreact when playing video games, some parents manage to become so bothered about their offspring's behavior that they end up committing dreadful deeds themselves. Such is the case of a Maryland mother who killed a 17-year-old her son because he kept on using disrespectful language while playing video games.
Who thought that this was going to be the mother? Because I sure as hell didn't. Until I read your title.
I know, right? You would for sure think like stepdad or like older brother or something like that.
Or even father. I would even more suspect a father. But a mother killing her own son over a video game.
Shooting her
This
son.
is why I say this has got to be like a rare instance. A mother would kill her son
Yeah, you know what? The other one I saw that I mentioned a minute ago, you said you thought these were rare, was actually a father, I believe. So yeah, I think the mother takes it to a new level, which is why I chose this one.
I didn't want to
sure.
give that away, earlier, but yeah, the fact that it's a mother, it just blows me away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on February 24th, 2017, 48-year-old Angelique Chase of Clinton, Maryland, got into an argument with her son, Christopher Perry, who was 17 years old, while he was playing video games. Angelique told investigators her son was using disrespectful language, and when she tried to take away his game and phone, their verbal argument escalated into a physical one. And once again, this stems from someone like her son being so tied into that world where it's like, you're taking away my life, essentially, when you take away the game and my phone. I saw this with a niece of mine recently where she was displaying some poor behavior in with the wrong crowd, that type of thing. And her dad, my brother-in-law, tried to take away her phone. There was blew up into a big thing. Like, that's their world. Now it's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in, where it's like that device, in their opinion, holds their entire world.
It's their lifeline,
whether it's the gaming console or their iPhone.
You're right. It's everything. It's their savior. It's their information. It's their
lifeline to their friends and their social life. And
it's also their muse and their fidget toy when they're feeling anxious or when they don't want to interact.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a crutch. It's a crutch just as much as
it's their means of getting attention and confirmation.
Yeah, it's everything. You're right.
So, according to court documents, a family member separated the two following, the blow up with the mother trying to take away the devices. The family member saw her then go downstairs into the basement. She then returned with a handgun and shot her son once in the chest.
Jesus Christ.
Angelique then called 911 and reported her son had been shot. Yeah, you think? You did it.
Right.
And according to investigators, after waiving her Miranda rights, Angelique admitted to shooting her son. She stated that the gun went off accidentally, that she began to lower it. I don't know if she's saying that she had it pointed at his head and then she began to lower it and went off because she hit him in the chest, the torso area. Either way, I mean, you don't
the fact
point a loaded gun at anything you don't intend to shoot.
Never.
That's like rule number one. So
never.
Especially your own family member, your child. It's just mind blowing to me.
It really is. I can't fathom this. I can't fathom how this happened. I mean, I gotten some pretty bad arguments with my mom, and I've gotten in bad arguments with my children. But never ever has it ever fucking crossed my mind to get a gun. Like,
to strike them, let alone point a loaded gun at them.
No. Yeah, I just don't get how it escalates to this point. But we don't know the whole story either. We really don't.
No. Oh, it's hard to imagine any way in which it's understandable. It doesn't matter even if he hit her or whatever went down. Like, it's hard to imagine it being.
Oh, it's not excusable.
Okay.
Yeah. No, nothing excuses this. You're a 48-year-old mother. Yeah. You know better.
Yeah. So Angelique Chase was subsequently charged with murder and received life in prison. Responding to the murder, the suspect's sister, Laquan Chase, said her nephew was a good kid that resided with her mother and didn't give her any trouble. Nobody in the family understands or knows what went wrong. We're trying to understand that ourselves. It's just, I'm at a loss for words. The teen's father, Christopher Perry Jr., said his son was a 12th grader and scheduled to graduate from Grace Brethren Christian School in May. Also, he said that he was a good kid. He went to a good private school and everything. He was well-mannered and polite. The father said he didn't know what could have led to the dispute. And the week following the murder, approximately a dozen of Christopher's classmates came to his house where they went to the front door. Many of them had flowers in their hands. Some of them wiped away tears as they spoke with Perry's older sister. So he was a well-liked kid.
Yeah.
By several accounts, very well-mannered and on track to graduate and things like that. I mean, that's not to say he didn't display some, bad behavior when playing video games and didn't have a temper.
Right.
Like a lot of good kids still have these moments.
Oh, especially at home, right? I mean, your worst stuff is going to be seen by your family at home. But I want to bring up something else here. The fact that they're stressing so much that he was, a good-mannered, polite kid or whatever, and he went to a Christian school and all this. Maybe his parents were a little bit overbearing when it came to video games, and maybe his mom was just taken aback by his interaction with people his age, his classmates, his friends, and how everyone else says he was like super polite and well-mannered to them, but to his mother, the things that he may have been saying or the way that he was acting was just appalling and not her son. Does that make sense? And then I think
Yep.
if a mother thought, this is not my son anymore, he's going down the wrong path, I can't help him. Maybe that's what would lead a mother.
Online gaming has given parents a glimpse into their child's actual personalities and interactions with their friends that our parents, all the past generations never got to see that because they didn't act the way they acted until they were gone and at school with their friends or hanging out at their friend's house or whatever.
Exactly.
Like I just watched A Christmas Story, like Ralphie's behavior with his friends when they're walking to school. His mom would have been outraged at the conversations they had and stuff like that. That was normal, but now it goes into the house with the gaming. You get that headset on and you forget that your parents are in the other room and you're just talking like you talk with your friends, cursing, whatever.
Exactly.
And I'm sure many parents are appalled by the way their kids actually talk when they get a glimpse of it.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that is what played a big role in this case. And just turning her, and maybe she was listening to it day after day. You know what I mean? And she's like, "This is who my kid is now. I can't allow this. I can't allow this horrible version of my son to continue."
Yeah.
I know it sounds psychotic, but it's the world we live in.
Her reaction and what she did, her actions were psychotic.
No doubt.
Those thoughts aren't necessarily.
True. Wow.
But do you want to get into some commercials real quick before we go on to the crazy case that is our last case?
Oh, yes.
And it's, like I said, this one could be an episode of its own. This kid scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, let's do it because I don't want to interrupt this one.
No.
All right, let's take a little break. What's up, creepers? Let me tell you about a sponsor I personally love, Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded on a rebellious spirit and a lofty goal to create boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point, offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. Glasses start at only $95, including prescription lenses. And you can try Warby Parker's free home try-on program, where you order 5 pairs of glasses to try on for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free, and it includes a paid return shipping label. Don't let your FSA or HSA dollars go to waste. You can put them to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, or eye exams. So try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free today at warbyparker.com/creeper. Guys, the kit is super easy to use. You go online, you fill out a little quiz, you pick the glasses, the lenses, and the frames that you want sent to you, 5 different ones, and you get to try them on your face, see how they fit, see how they feel. And now you can buy with confidence, knowing that you're going to love your new frames and your new glasses. So get started today at warbyparker.com/creeper. Again, that's warbyparker.com/creeper.
All right, this last case we're calling Spy Hunter, or nine-year-old Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter being the video game that spawned this event. But this kid, I feel like, would have done something heinous and killed someone early on regardless. I just think the video game
almost
itself
like
was, just, it was almost irrelevant. It was like this kid, he was a firecracker waiting to go off. I don't know.
He was. I feel like he needed to get something off his chest. He needed to do this. And I feel like he was going to do it one way or another. I don't know if his dad had taken him hunting, but this kid was very well versed in weapons and guns and ammunition. So I don't know if he just, this was something he always wanted to do and this was just a good reason or what, because the way he goes about this crime is just so fucking planned and methodical for a 9-year-old that creeps you out. Does it not?
It does. It flashes me back to the Eric Smith episode. This kid looks a little bit like Eric Smith too, with like a blonde version of him.
Oh,
that evil face.
Eric Smith, he was only like what, 12 or 13, I think, when he killed a younger boy.
And this kid, Cameron Kocher, was 6 weeks shy of his 10th birthday on March 6, 1989, when a Nintendo butt-whuppin ruined Cameron Kocher's day off. They got a snow day. The 4th grader got a snow day on March 31st on a Monday in his rural town of Craigsville, Pennsylvania. And when his parents left for work that morning, Kocher went next door to a hideaway, to a home on Hideaway Hill Road where they lived, the home of Richard and Trudy Ratty, where the kids from the neighborhood had gathered. This is very 80s, 90s, behavior. Like the parents just like latchkey kids. The parents just leave for work and leave the kid home alone. It's like go to the neighbor's house, go play with them or something. Like there's TV dinners in the fridge. Like this kid's 9 years old. You're just leaving him home all day.
Right. If they kick you out, just come back home, lock the door, whatever.
Yep. So all the kids in the neighborhood gathered at the Ratty's house. And at the house, they had a Nintendo, and there was a first grader named Jessica Carr, who was 7, and she challenged little Cameron Kocher to a game of Spy Hunter, which was a video game in which players spray enemies with machine guns mounted on a speeding car. And to kind of preface this, Cameron's father, Keith, was an avid hunter, and like many country kids, the boy had been introduced to firearms. He favored camouflage clothing, and some called him Little Rambo. Speaking of young Cameron.
Yeah, what a loving little nickname.
Yeah, so this is setting up nicely for you guys. You can kind of see where this is going.
Yeah.
But as far as video gaming, he wasn't up to snuff, and Jessica Carr took him down at Spy Hunter. Which
well, to be fair, it was her game, right? I mean, she was at her house, wasn't it?
No, they were at the Ratty's house. This was just another neighborhood girl.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
She just came in there and kicked his ass in front of all the neighborhood kids.
Yep. This obviously sent young Cameron into a rage. He was still upset early into that afternoon when Trudy Ratty ran the kids outside to play in the snow, another very 80s and 90s thing, like kicking the kids outside and locking the door.
Yep.
Although I believe the father was out there with them because they were riding snowmobiles, and Brian Ratty asked Cameron if he wanted to ride the snowmobile, and Cameron's response was, quote, "My mom and dad won't let me." Prosecutors say that Cameron then returned home to his house angry and alone. He went to the second floor master bedroom, unlocked his father's gun cabinet with a key he took from a secret hiding place, which was underneath a lamp, pulled out a high-powered hunting rifle and loaded it with the correct ammunition, selected from several different types. He removed the .35 caliber Marlin rifle, found the proper ammo in a separate locker drawer, and loaded the cartridge into the chamber. Young Cameron then opened a window in the second-story bedroom, removed the screen, and leveled the rifle on the noisy snowmobile moving across the Ratty yard 100 yards away. He found his target in the scope and squeezed off a shot. Now, this girl, little Jessica Carr, was riding on the back of the snowmobile with another girl. And he hit her square in the back from 100 yards away. Now, I don't know if it's known for sure whether he shot one shot or maybe he missed a first shot or second, who knows. But the fact that the snowmobile was, I'm sure, very loud, masked the sound of the rifle shot.
Right.
A few minutes later, Richard Ratty, the father of the home that was entertaining everyone that day, called Cameron's home to let him know to stay at his house, that there may be a sniper on the loose, that a little girl had been shot. Little Jessica Carr had been shot while riding on the back of the snowmobile, and the Ratty home had become a scene of an emotional wreck. It was kids wailing and praying over their friend. She was laying dying in the middle of the living room. Meanwhile, Cameron returns to the home, the Ratty home, walks into the home, walks past them while they're all freaking out trying to save this little girl's life, and says, I quote, "If you don't think about it, you won't be sad." He then sat down and started playing Nintendo by himself. And if that doesn't give you fucking chills, I don't know what will. Like, you can't display more disturbing behavior than this little boy is right now. Like, not only does that action, but shows zero remorse and is almost taunting them.
Completely detached from the situation. Like his anger is still boiling past any affection or empathy he could have for this little girl. Still.
Yep. Even if he didn't have anything to do with the murder, that's still like,
oh my God.
I don't ever want to see this kid around my kids again, just displaying that behavior.
Oh, right. Yeah. That alone is alarming.
But he, of course, had done the act, and police would notice a half-moon-shaped cut on Kocher's forehead later that night, a wound from the recoil of a rifle scope. So it turns out he's not that great at shooting rifles, because everyone knows you don't put your face that freaking close to the scope.
Yeah.
He got scoped. And investigators would find the boy's blood on the rifle and near the bottom of the bedroom window. 2 days after the shooting, the news blew up. 9-year-old arrested and killing. And this was at a time in the late 80s, early 90s when this became kind of a trend. Young kids killing other kids, killing people, and was almost like satanic panic type of thing. Like,
right.
News were constantly freaking out, headlines about, these kids that kill type of thing.
There's too many of them, that's for sure.
Yeah. And at this point in America, no one so young had ever been charged as an adult with murder, and the case prompted national school sessions about judicious punishments for kids who commit vile acts and about justice for their victims. And as legal adversaries debated whether Kocher should be treated as a boy or a man, the sympathy scale seemed to tip towards the shooter and his parents somehow. Richard Ratty, whose 13-year-old daughter was on the snowmobile with Jessica Carr, said that the pity was misplaced. Quote, "You can't feel as bad for the Kochers as you should for the Carrs," he told reporters. Oh, Richard Ratty, man, that's I'm sure it hits close to home for him, who's his daughter was on the front of this, easily could have been the victim,
Yep. No way.
Cameron Kocher's mind would end up being prodded by psychiatrists who found him to be a normal child, although emotionally removed from his deed, you think? They said that he dozed off during one of his early court appearances, seemingly once again unaffected by the crime that he had committed. And a judge would finally rule 5 months after the slaying that he would be treated as an adult because the shooting had been willful and deliberate. He faced an automatic life sentence if convicted of murder. However, the case bounced from one pretrial appeal to another as the Kocher's attorney fought to steer his client into the juvenile court, arguing he was, quote, "a child of very tender years." In the meantime, Kocher, free on $50,000 bond, attended classes under an assumed name in a distant school district. I get a bad feeling from the parents distancing their child and themselves from this, enrolling him in a school far away.
Right,
hiring an attorney to fight it. Like,
well, but while
he's
obviously
it's your kid, and you still love your kid, but like it just seemed, I don't know. I get a vibe that
I think
something's up here.
I think they're just doing that for the safety, for his safety, so he's not harassed by other kids or media or whatever while he's at school. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, and if months go by while all these court proceedings are going on, he's out on bond. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Just sit around and do nothing?
I'm just saying, putting him in another school with other kids, I don't know. Like, I think I would put my kid into homeschool while we figure out what's going to happen with whether he's going to juvie or jail forever.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. If my kid shot somebody, they definitely, and they weren't in prison, they would be under my watchful eye.
The sheer fact that he was allowed to then go to a public school again while he's awaiting trial for this,
that's what I'm saying.
Bizarre to me.
They would be under my watch all the time. The whole fucking time.
Like, wouldn't you be pretty upset when you found out that this new kid that just came to your kid's school actually like shot and murdered some girl and was awaiting punishment? Like,
yeah,
obviously they kept this hush. The other school probably, I doubt very many people knew about this kid's history when he showed up at this school.
Right.
And at this point, he kind of has nothing to lose, too. It's like, who's to say he's not going to do something like this again at the school he's going to if someone fucks with him, because he's already maybe going away. He already knows this.
And in his...
I don't know. It's scary.
I don't know. I feel like in his mind at this time, he feels like he's already getting away with it. He's fallen asleep in court.
Yeah,
he's going back to school.
You could look at it one of two ways. Either I'm going away forever, or I got away with murder once. I could do it again.
Mm-hmm.
In his 9-year-old mind, that's scary to me.
Terrifying.
The idea that this kid gets put in my kid's school and I didn't get warned of his history and what's going on with him. Like,
oh yeah, that school could have been sued for sure. That whole district.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So resolution would finally come 3.5 years after the shooting, and it's not as satisfying as you'd hope. When Jessica's mother, Donna Teets, reluctantly signed off on a plea deal. Cameron Kocher, then 13, was convicted of a misdemeanor involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to probation until 21 years old with no jail time and no permanent record.
Wow.
Fucking shocking result.
That's bullshit.
And yeah, it's scary to me. I mean, involuntary manslaughter is so contrary to what actually went down. I mean, this kid deliberately went home, used the key, like he had time to cool down. This was not like, a crime of passion in the moment where he just like had the gun in his hand somehow and fired it during the video game when he lost. Like, no, he deliberately went home, found the key, unlocked the gun, opened the window, propped it up. Like this was a premeditated thing.
Yep.
The antithesis of an involuntary manslaughter, which to me is like a vehicle accident where you're at fault, but you didn't mean to kill somebody.
Right.
This is a deliberate murder.
Or like a hunting accident. If you shoot hunting accident, that's different. But no, he was hunting her. This was deliberate.
Yes. Yep. And displayed zero remorse afterwards, too. I mean...
Not to mention. Yikes.
So, as I said, received probation until 21 years old, no jail time, no permanent record, which to me is also scary. Like,
That's
I feel
ridiculous.
like, people that come in the line of this person in the future there should be a record of what he's done, I think.
Absolutely.
It's insulting to the family of young Jessica Carr, who died, and she's never coming back. And this kid gets to just move on forever and never has to
like nothing happened.
Yeah,
like nothing happened. I mean,
like her life was lost for nothing almost.
I don't know if he should have done life. I don't know about that, but he should have done. He should have been in prison well up into adulthood
and looked after. Yes. Forever, in my opinion. Definitely the system should have eyes on him and what he's doing, and not just like move on, no record, nothing.
Right. He should be going like ongoing psychological tests, like every 6 months or some shit like that. I don't know. Something needs to be done. Yeah. But he's well into his 40s now.
Yeah. Yeah, so almost immediately, Jessica's mother regretted bestowing her blessing and taking the plea deal. Quote, involuntary manslaughter means it's an accident, she told the media. It wasn't an accident. It's well said.
Well said.
And neighbor Richard Ratty, the father of the daughter that was on the snowmobile with young Jessica, said it's a total disgrace. In 1993, the mother, Teets, said that her second thoughts festered, and she said, quote, he should have gone to jail for life. He took my daughter's life, and he gets to be free. So she deeply regretted signing that plea deal. Cameron Kocher is now in his early 40s and has made no further headlines since gunning down his childhood friend.
Golly.
And it's a pretty shocking case. Once again, probably could have gone in depth into that one and made a whole case about it. But
man,
fit well into our Gamers Gone Wild episode, I think.
That one blows me away, even more than the mother one. Like I say, it just I don't know why. It's just the planning and.
Well, the mother one is more of a crime of passion, like what we just described. She storms down to the basement, grabs the gun, comes back up, and shoots him. But like Cameron seemed like they'd continued to. From what it sounds like, he'd gotten beat by Jessica, and then they continued to play for a while, like other kids and stuff, and he stewed on it. They go outside to ride snowmobiles, he's still stewing on it, and he goes home, unlocks the gun cabinet, gets the gun out. Like, this is all like well thought out. He's had time to cool down. He's had that cool down period, you would think.
Absolutely. I guess this is one of those downsides to teaching your kids about guns, huh?
We've talked about it in the past, and you have to know each of your children.
Each of your children, that's correct.
Independently, you have to know their maturity level, their mindset. Like, you have to study them before you just treat them all the same. Like, all kids should not just be exposed to guns right away because some kids can't handle it. Some kids still think it's a fun toy game type of thing, and they can't realize the seriousness. And I am not ready to introduce my son to guns yet.
I just don't think
real guns. He plays with toy guns all day, every day, but he's not ready. I know his maturity level is not there yet to where even like a 22 or something like that. It's not time yet. I'm going to wait till 12, 13 and keep an eye on him. I do want him to know. We constantly preach how dangerous they are, though, even without like him being around a real one.
Yeah,
we preach to him, gun safety and things like that. Even with his toy guns, trigger control and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because kids just don't understand the permanence of death. They just can't. They can't understand that.
Well, in our last Patreon episode, we talked about that with Robert Durst and his mother's death, how she was being lowered into the ground and he couldn't comprehend why his mommy going into the ground, jumping on the casket. Like you said, he didn't understand the permanence of it.
No, he didn't.
And he was around the same age. He was, 9 years old? Seven, I believe, at the time?
He was somewhere. Yeah, I think he was around 7. Yeah. So, yeah, it just depends. I mean, once your kids reach that age and you feel like they have the right amount of empathy and responsibility and they understand life and death, and then I think that would be a good time to teach them for their protection. Because I'm sure that father thought, well, if you're here alone and someone breaks in, here's my key, here's how you get this gun, here's how you get this, and it was all in good intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, like
maybe,
you said,
or maybe he tried to literally hide the key from the kid, and the kid found it snooping around or whatever. But
I don't know. I just feel like the way it happened. So yeah, and he put everything back. I'm pretty sure. And like you say, it was late 80s, early 90s. these kids were used to being at home by themselves, and you don't want
in a rural area
right
where hunting is regular and all that. Like
exactly.
High school kids probably had their guns in their pickup truck sitting in the school parking lot. Like that was very common back then.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, it was to learn how to use guns at 9 really wasn't that crazy, especially not if you spend time at home alone. You know, you would want your child to be able to have some type of defense against an intruder.
Yeah.
You know, man.
All right.
Well, we can't help you with that. But,
there's defense against intruders, which guns are great for, but there's defense against odors, which Oh My Gaia is great for.
Dude, so well put. So well put. No better defense than Oh My Gaia, guys. Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Their innovative line of deodorants inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria while maintaining effectiveness. At Oh My Gaia, they use only all-natural, paraben, and aluminum-free organic ingredients. And guys, there's tons of scents to choose from vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk, coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle, fireside, bergamot, amber, pear.
None more important than True Crime Pine. Which has our logo on it. Not. It's our signature scent. It's got a little bit of pine, a little bit of sweetness to it. It's fantastic. It's gender neutral. It's anybody can wear it. It's fantastic.
That's right. Just the right dose of crime as well. And because you guys...
And it is like a second defense attorney. It will get you off on crimes.
Allegedly. But because you guys are True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the word creeper for 15% off your order. That's CREEPER for 15% off at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram or at ohmygaia.com. That's OHMYGAIA.com. Guys, you won't regret it. You won't find a better natural deodorant out there. Promise you. And the customer service, can't beat it. It's to die for. No pun intended.
Yeah. Good one. I like how every week as the case is winding down, we both kind of like, we're not even in the same room, but you can sense this like Western like standoff, like who's going to get the segue first. I know you were about to try one, but I beat you to the punch.
I was actually going to do the same segue, so that was perfect.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Nice.
I was actually going to say, defense against sweat, something like that. So,
well, mediocre minds think alike.
That's right.
All right.
Not about how
far are we
brilliant
going back? How far are we going back for reviews here?
I think we got to go 2
Patreon
weeks.
last week, right?
Let's go back 2 weeks.
Find me a date here so I know, because I'm looking
you.
through the reviews right now.
So go back to, we recorded last on the 12th, a free one. So you're going to have to go back to somewhere, anything after the 12th. Any review after the 12th.
All right. So then we got... I don't feel like we gave, even though this one says 12/11, I don't remember Samantha Natflow.
We might have missed it.
From Great Britain says, love it when this podcast drops. I look forward to this podcast every week. I binged the back catalog, which was awesome. The hosts are really fun without being disrespectful. Thanks, guys, for a really top podcast. All right, mate.
Very good. Thank you.
Then we got Name Mama Gave Me. Oh, you've reviewed before, but hey, you know what? If you're working the system and revoking your old review and doing it again, I guess good on you.
That's right.
And Name Mama Gave Me from the U.S. says, I found Sandu first, and thanks to the amazing synopsis with the spectacular theme song, I got introduced to Lauren. Oh my God, I'm glad I did because you guys are awesome. Thanks for presenting these facts in a way that isn't so crushingly serious. Keep true crime fun. Sounds weird, but yeah, that's how it is. Fire emojis.
Right on.
Caught up on both shows and have upgraded from freeloader to Patreon member so I can keep creeping. Thank you, Name Mama Gave Me.
Right on.
Then we got Shebrum in the U.S. says, love the show. Heard about y'all on Killer Queens. I'm not big on change, so it can be tough for me to get into new shows and new hosts, but love the banter and the jokes. It's a keeper for me. Thank you, Shebrum.
Glad to have you.
Then we got Shell Ray in the U.S. says, the operator sent me. All these shows that we're doing promo swaps with, it's paying off, and we're getting all these new listeners.
Hell yeah.
And Shell Ray is evidence of that. It says, the operator sent me, heard about you from my favorite podcast, 911 Calls with the Operator.
Excellent
I knew if they liked you, I would too. I love your style, low-key, good chemistry, and entertaining. I don't like the loud, forced humor and over-the-top shows, like one that I'm not going to mention because a lot of our listeners love that show as well, but that's, not everybody's taste is the same.
That's right.
I listened to Kelsey Smith episode and was glad to hear you had a pretty good idea of the layout of the Kansas City and that is in Kansas and Missouri. I am now a fan. Thank you, Shell Ray. Then we got Rich WSLV. I'm wondering if that's West Side Las Vegas.
Probably.
one of my local kin here, Rich, says, awesome, entertaining podcast. Love this podcast. Listen to you literally every day. I'm all caught up on TCG and Sandu stories. I'm on Amazon. I'm an Amazon driver. You definitely keep me entertained every day. I'm out here making my delivery. Super stoked every week to hear your new stories. Keep up the awesome work. Proud of Lauren for putting Vegas on the map. Vegas Goat podcast host.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure Vegas was on the map before I came around, buddy. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, some people might have heard of it before you, Lauren, but I think you really made it blow up.
Yeah. Then we got Monkey030288 in the U.S. says, strange, dark, and mysterious. 5 stars. This podcast is highly addictive. Lauren and Michael have a way of telling a true crime story, but making it sound like casual banter. Very informative with the occasional comic outlook on topics, which normally would be tough to hear. Thank you very much, Monkey. And then we got one last one from the Queen Bee 73 in the U.S. says, best by far, 5 stars. I love your podcast. Your banter is great. Crime stories keep my attention every time I listen, and the accents are hilarious. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to freeloading in the new year.
Nice.
Thank you very much, the Queen Bee. I agree. You are the Queen Bee.
Right on.
And we want to take this moment to talk about our Patreons real quick.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/truecrimeguys. $2 a month gets you access to our once a month premium episode, which this past week was a big one. We covered The Jinx, Robert Durst.
Yes.
It was over 2 hours long. I got a 10-hour audiobook, and we watched the entire Jinx series on HBO. That was 6 parts. And yeah, we went into depth about Robert Durst.
Everything
about
you
life.
need to know about Robert Durst, The Jinx, is in that episode. Guaranteed.
Yep, and that you get that episode along with so many other episodes. We've had our Patreon page for over 3 years now. We've done an episode just for Patreon every single month throughout that 3 years. And then if you want to go up to the $5 a month tier, and you can pay this all up front too. Like going into 2022, if you want to be a part of Patreon, you can pay one-time payment, $21 to be in the $2 tier, and you get full 12 months, and you don't have to worry about your card getting hit every month.
Right.
Or $54 gets you, and you save 10% when you do this. $54 gets you a full year at the $5 tier, where you also get Just the Banter, where Michael and I sit down every Friday for anywhere from 30 minutes to over an hour. This past episode, our holiday, Just the Banter, was over an hour. People asked us everything holiday related.
And the good thing about Just the Banter is that it's like a real-time, it's the closest thing to real-time, consistent interaction that we get to have with our listeners. Because we post a post on Patreon that asked about questions for Just the Banter, usually on Thursday evening. Friday morning, we record, and then later on Friday, the episode goes up. So it's all right there in that tight little window.
You get your answer to the question from our mouse within 24 hours, basically.
Exactly. So it's fun to be a part of. It's not like you ask a question and then the episode with your question hits a week later and you forget about it. No, it's the very next day. So, and we try to do that, as a good weekend starter. You're getting off work, you can listen to a little banter on your way home, get your weekend started right.
And the cherry on top of that as well is at the $5 tier, you also get the very prestigious gold Creep Van sticker, which just sent out a boatload of. I was way behind. So Merry Late Christmas this week. Those of you who have been waiting on your gold Creep Van sticker, expect them in the mail.
Here it comes.
This upcoming week.
Right on. The badge of honor.
I had to get more stamps. I need to order more stickers because, man, it took me half a day to send out all of those. So...
Right on. Very prestigious, guys.
And also check out Sandu's Patreon page. You just got a taste of that on Christmas Eve. Sandu Stories dropped, The Lighthouse.
Yes, if you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, please check out the last episode that we just posted, Sandu Stories, Chapter 10, the Flannan Isle Wikis, where it's basically an audio theater style play that myself, Lauren, and my wife Kristen, as well as a friend of mine, Andy, all here at True Crime Guys Productions. We worked very hard on this. Everybody plays a role, and it's something we really think you guys will like. And if you do like Sandu Stories, you can always check out patreon.com/SandU podcast for more of that.
How many more stories do you have on that catalog over there at your Patreon?
Let's see. That was 10.
I know we did the Alcatraz, the Escape from Alcatraz one, which was awesome.
Yes. That one has also been released, I believe, on the free platform, but it's on Sandu. Or it might be on True Crime Guys, actually. I'm not sure, but that one's on one of our 2 free platforms as well. But we have 10, because Chapter 10, Chapter 11 will come out on December 30th on Patreon. Super excited about that one. It's going to be based around the Salem witch trials. So,
I play a fanatical judge.
Yes,
it's going to be fun.
Yes, it's going to be. This one's really going to test our acting abilities for sure. But this one's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
But you guys can also check out Strange and Unexplained, which we lovingly call Sandu for short, wherever you listen to podcasts, on the free platform as well. Strange and Unexplained, or if you search True Crime Guys in your podcast player, you should see that. Also, real quick, I wanted to touch base. Some of you may have left a review over the last month, maybe throughout November and early December, and we missed it. Well, what happened was, for a short period of time, we had 2 versions of True Crime Guys out on Apple Podcast and iTunes, okay? One of the versions somehow was like a copy of our show. Long story short, that wasn't our original feed, and some people left reviews on there, but we had to take that feed down because you can't have 2 feeds at the same time, okay? So we have our old feed up that has, 2,500 plus reviews on it or whatever. So if you left a review on there and you haven't heard your review, please leave another one. Maybe unsubscribe and search True Crime Guys, resubscribe to the correct platform, especially if you haven't been getting updates. But of course, if you're not getting updates, I don't know how you're hearing this episode. But anyways, if you guys found us and you haven't heard your review, that's why. We had a little bit of feed.
Yeah, maybe you've had to switch to Podbean to hear us, and you don't get us on your normal app anymore. Try redoing it. Try searching and resubscribing.
We're there.
Leaving another review if you can.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that Spotify now has a rate option to where you can rate podcasts on there. So if you listen to us on Spotify, I don't think you can review, but you can definitely rate all of a sudden, because we have 22 5-star ratings on Spotify all of a sudden. So yeah, if you listen on Spotify, if you could real quick, just click 5 stars. I'm not sure if it helps with the algorithm as far as, what shows get on the lists and stuff like that. But
yeah, I see
thank
that.
you to those who've already done so.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, please.
This has got to be some kind of new update, because that hasn't been there long.
It is very new. Yeah.
Also, guys, something that does help the show for a fact is hitting that follow button on Spotify. If you are on Spotify, or if you're fed up with your podcast player now, consider going to Spotify, because it's probably going to be the future of podcasts. But hit that follow button. That helps. That does help our show, whether you're on Apple Podcast, hitting subscribe, or on Spotify. Either way, as long as you hitting that follow button, that subscribe, that does help the show quite a bit. So we appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hope everybody had a great Christmas and has a great Happy New Year.
Yep. Yeah.
And we will see you on the other side in 2022, everybody. Keep creeping.
Keep creeping, guys.
True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder, get murder, get murder. True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder charming.
You hush your mouth, boy.